Hello and welcome to day 19 of Jamb Mathematics in 30 days. Jamb Mathematics in 30 days is a series brought to you by Oyalen, where when you dedicate 30 minutes to 45 minutes of your time daily, you get equipped with all the necessary tools you need to ace Jamb Mathematics. So in case you're planning to write Jamb Mathematics, this is the channel for you. Get all you need to ace Jamb Mathematics right from these videos in this series, Jamb Mathematics in 30 days. So I want to use this privilege to appreciate those of you who have been following the series from day one. And please, I would like to encourage you, don't keep your comments coming. Don't stop. Continue to ask questions, continue to query things that are going on. Anything at all you would like us to solve, put it there in the comment section and we will definitely attend to all of your questions. Because the aim is that we want to ensure that together we have everything we need. So if there's any part that you're not getting well, please put it in the comment section and we'll definitely make it lighter for you. So here in day 19, what we'll be looking at is representation of data, and it's part of statistics. And what Jamb expects every candidate to be able to do before the exam are listed here in the objectives. So you're expected to be able to identify and interpret frequency distribution table. That is, if you are presented with a frequency distribution table representing a set of data, you should be able to interpret it and give meaning to some of the data that are there. So if you are asked the numbers of sample in that data and things like that, you should be able to answer those questions just by looking at the frequency distribution table. And not just that, you're also expected to be able to interpret information on histogram, bar chart, and pie chart. That is, if a particular set of data has been converted into pictorial form in forms of histograms, bar charts, or pie charts. By taking a look at those pictures, the histogram, the bar chart, or the pie chart, you should be able to interpret it into useful information depending on the kind of questions that you are asked. So that being said, let's just move quickly and then begin to solve past questions that involve the representation of data. I'll be looking at questions from the UTME. So this question from UTME year 2000 says, the histogram above represents the weight of students who traveled out of their school for an examination. How many people made the trip? So, and from the beginning of this video, I did mention that one of the things that is expected of every candidate is that you should be able to interpret what you find in histogram, pictogram, bar chart, amongst other pictorial forms of representing data. So here we have an histogram with a weight distribution of students. So to the horizontal, we have the weight, and then to the vertical, we have the number of students. But this question is concerned only with the number of students and not their weight. Because the question asks us to find the number of people that made the trip. So we're only going to focus on the numbers here. So to get our answer here, all we have to do is just add the numbers that correspond to each of the charts together. So for this first part here, it is traced to 2 here. So the number here will be 2. Those in this weight class would be 3. In this weight class, we have, when we trace it down here, that is 5. This is 6. This goes to 8. This goes to 4. And this is to 1. So all we have to do is add all these numbers together. So we have 2 plus 3 plus 5 plus 6 plus 8 plus 4 plus 1. Now, 2 plus 3, that is 5. 5 plus 5, 10. 10 plus 6, that's 16. 16 plus 8, that is 24. 24 plus 4, that is 28. Plus 1, and then we have 29. So 29 people made the trip. The correct option, C. This question says, on the pie chart, There are 6 sectors, of which 4 angles are 30 degrees, 45 degrees, 60 degrees, and then 90 degrees. And the remaining angles are in the ratio 2 to 1. Find the smallest of the remaining angles. Now, in a pie chart, the sum of all the angles ought to give you 360 degrees. So to find the remaining angles, this is what we'll do. Remaining angles is supposed to be 360 degrees minus the sum of this. So we have 30 plus 45 plus 60 plus 90. Now, when we add this would give us 90 plus 90, that's 180. 180 plus 45 will give us 225. So we have 360 degrees minus 225 degrees. And this would give us 135 degrees. So we know that the sum of the two remaining angles is 135 degrees. So in order to find the smallest of these two, what we have to do is to apply the ratio. We know it's 2:1. So if the smallest one is x, then the other one will be twice of it, which will be 2x. That is, x plus 2x is supposed to give us 135 degrees. And when we add this, that is 3x becomes 135 degrees. Divide both sides by 3. And then the smallest angle x would then be, now 3 goes here once, in 13, that is 3 in 13. That is 4, yes, remainder 1, because 3 times 4 is 12. So remainder 1. 3 in 15 will give us 5. So we have 45 degrees. So the correct option here is C. This question says, the bar chart above shows the number of times the words a, and, in, it, the, to appear in a paragraph in a book. What is the ratio of the least frequent word to the most frequent word? So that is, we're going to take a look at this bar chart, and then we'll make a ratio, that is the least frequent word, number of times it appears, over the number of times the highest used word appears. So let's look here, and then we see that the word a appears 8 times, and appears twice, in appears 4 times, it appears 6 times, the appears 12 times, and to appears 6 times. So the least is the one that has the smallest bar here, and that is 2. And then the most is this long one where we have 12. So the ratio would be the ratio of and over the. And what we have there is 2 over 12. We can break this. 2 goes into once, and 2 goes in 12 6 times. So our answer is 1 over 6, which is option A. This question from 1995 says, the bar chart shows the distribution of students in a secondary school class. We're told that if 30 students offered French, how many offered CRK? Okay, now one thing we want to do first is we'll have to find the value of x here before we can even solve for CRK at all. And before we can find x, we also need the total number of students, so we need to solve that part for French. So starting with French, this shows that we have 90 degrees here and 90 degrees here as well. So to get the number of students in total, we know that 90 over 360 times number of students, right? Taking n to be the total number of students in that secondary school, right? In that class actually. Then this would give us the number of students that take French. And we are told that those that take French are 30. So this will be 30. So let's get n. 90 here 1, 90 here 4. So we have n over 4 equals 30. And what this implies is that n equals 4 times 30, which is 120. So that is, there are 120 students in this class. Okay, so now that we know that there are 120 students, let's find the value of x. X in degrees is supposed to be 360 degrees minus the sum of the others. So here we have 150 degrees plus 90 degrees plus 90 degrees. So x is going to be 360 degrees minus, now let's add this up. 90 plus 90 is 180. 180 plus 150, this is 0. This would give us 13. So 3 carry the 1. So we have 330. So the answer here is 30 degrees. So now let's find the number of students that take CRK. For CRK, that would be 30 over 360 times the total number of students, which is 120. So let's break this down. 0 cancel 0. 3 here 1. 3 here is 12. So what we have is 120 divided by 12, and this will give us 10. So that is 10 students offered CRK. Our answer is C. This question says, a storekeeper checked his stock of 5 commodities and arrived at the following statistics. So we have commodity F, G, H, K, and M, and their quantities are 125, 113, 108, 216, and 68 respectively. So what angle will commodity H represent on a pie chart? So if we're going to convert this into a pie chart, to get the angle, right, in our solution, we're going to apply that the angle equals number of commodity or quantity of commodity divided by total quantity times 360 degrees. So if we're going to apply this, we need the total number of commodity, but we know commodity H is 108. So let us sum it together. So let me do the addition here, starting with 125 plus 113. This will give us here 8, here is 3, here is 2. So this is 238. Now let's add 108. This is 6, carry 1, that's 4, plus 0, that's 4. Then this is 3, 346, okay? Plus 216, 2, carry 1. This will become 6, and then this is 5. And then finally we add 68. This is 0, carry 1. 12 plus 1, that's 13. So 3, carry 1, and then this is 6. So 630 in total. So the angle would then be, now commodity H is 108 divided by 630. Then we'll multiply this by 360. Now you can do this with your calculator for speed. And when you do it, you're going to get 61.7 degrees. Take note, this is 360 degrees. So, and since the answers are provided to the nearest whole number, we'll approximate this to 62 degrees. So the correct option is D. This question that was set in 1990 and repeated in 2021 says that if 4, 16, 30, 20, 10, 14, and 26 are represented on a pie chart, find the sum of angles of the sectors representing all numbers equal to or greater than 16. So the first thing we want to do is to find the sum of all the numbers. So sum of numbers. That is 4 plus 16 plus 30 plus 20 plus 10 plus 14 plus 26. Now, let's do this gradually. Now, this will give us 20. 20 plus 30, that's 50. Plus this, that's 60. 60 plus 20, that's 80. So 80 plus, when we add this, that's 40. 80 plus 40, that's 120. So we have 120 in total. Now, sum of numbers greater or equal. Now, because it says equal or greater, so than 16. So we're going to start from 16. We have 16 plus, which number again do we have? We have 30 plus, there's 20, then there's 26. These are the numbers that are equal or greater than 16. And now when we add this, what do we have? This would give us 50, but 16 plus 26 will give us 42. 42 plus 50, that is 92. So the sum of the sectors will then be 92 over 120. And then we multiply this by 360 degrees. So 120 here 1, here it is 3. So we have 92 times 3. Now 3 times 2 gives us 6. 3 times 9 gives us 27. So 276 degrees. So the option to go for is D. In a class of 30 students, the marks scored in an examination are displayed in the histogram. What percentage of the students scored more than 40%? Now, when we look at this histogram, we see that 20 students or less than 20 students scored 10 marks. No, this is 9 because it doesn't get to 10. Now, less than 40 students scored 7. Here we have 6, and here we have 2. So since we're only considering those that score 40 or more, that is, we're only going to be on this line forward. So from this line forward, here we have 6, and then here we have 2. So we have to add this up. So we have 6 plus 6 plus 2, all divided by the total number of students, which according to the question is 30. So we then multiply this by 100%. Now when we add this up, we're going to have 14 over 30 times 100. So 0 cancels 0. So now we have 140 divided by 3 in percent. Now 3 goes in 14 4 times, because 3 times 4 is 12. So we have a remainder of 2. Now 3 will go in 20 6 times. So now we have 46. Remainder 2, because 3 times 6 is 18. So, and 18 out of 20, we are left with 2. So 2 over 3. So 46, whole number, 2 over 3%. That gives us C. This question from UTME 2023 says, how many students scored at least 25%? And we're going to be considering this chart here, this histogram we have here. And when we look at the histogram here, we see that for the percentage obtained, we see that from 0 to 25, we have 3. From 25 to 50, we have 5. From 50 to 75, we have 3. From 75 to 100, we have 8. And since the question says at least 25%, so we're going to be considering 25% and above that. So here we have 5, here we have 3, here we have 8. So our answer is going to be 5 plus 3 plus 8. And when we add this together, 5 plus 3 is 8. 8 plus 8, we have 16. So we pick option A. This question says, the pie chart represents 400 foot on display in a grocery store. How many apples are in the store? So given that this is the pie chart here, we have this to be 100, this is 100, this is 115. So let's calculate the angle of the sector for apple. So the sector for apple X will be given by 360 degrees minus the sum of the others. So 100 degrees plus 100 degrees plus 115 degrees. Now this gives us 360 degrees minus. When we add this up, this is 315. So we get 45 degrees. So to find the number of apples in the grocery store, number of apples would then be 45 over 360 multiplied by the total number of fruits in the store. So since we have 400 fruits, this would then be 45 year 1, 45 year 8. We have 400 divided by 8. So number of apples would then be 8 in 40, that's 5, and 0, we have 0. So 50 apples. That is option B. This question says, from the table above, if the pass mark is 5, how many students failed the test? That is, we're going to consider the number of students that scored below 5 marks. Now from the table, we see marks such as 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So if we are considering below 5 marks, it means we'll be looking at these points of the table, 2, 3, and 4. So the sum of students that made these low marks are going to be 3 plus 1 plus 5. These are the number of students that failed the test. So when we add this up, 3 plus 1, that's 4, plus 5, and then we have 9. So the option we pick is D. This question starts with this histogram where we have number of students and then marks. We're asked to study the histogram, and then they ask the question, what is the total number of students that scored at most 50 marks? That is, we cannot consider any mark that is above 50. It has to be 50 or less than 50. So when we look at the histogram, this is where 50 marks is. So all the graph we have from this 50 back down to 0 is what we are going to consider. And this one gets to 100 students. This is to 80 students. This shows 60 students. This shows 40 students. This shows 80 students. So let's add them together. So we have 80 plus 40 plus 60 plus 80 plus 100. Now let's add them. 60 plus 40 is 100. Then we have this 100. Then 80 plus 80 would give us 160. So let's add this. This is 0, this is 6, and this is 3. So we have 360 students. The correct option there is C. This question from UTME 2010 says, the table shows the marks obtained in a given test. How many students took the test? So we see the table here with marks obtained ranging from 1, 2, 3, all the way to 5. And then the frequency for each of the mark is placed right under the mark. So now to find the number of students who take this test, we just have to add the total frequency. Since 2 people scored 1, 2 people scored 2, 8 people scored 3, 4 people scored 4, and then 4 people scored 5. So this would be the number of students taking the test. So number of students would then be 2 plus 2 plus 8 plus 4 plus 4. Now, 2 plus 2 is 4. When we add that to 8, we have 12. Plus 4, we have 16. Plus 4, and then we have 20. So total number of students is 20. So the correct option here is C. Now do ensure that you like the video. You can also share it and subscribe to the channel. When you subscribe, also click the notification bell. This will always alert you whenever we put out a new content for you. And as always, see you in the next video. Bye for now.